Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. I got a good show lined up for you. Y'all make sure y'all do that YouTube stuff for me. You know what it is. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I like the 2 comments on my last video. One of my fellow Vols thought I just misspelled Heisman. I appreciate you watching, bud. I was trying to say because it had to be a heist where Peyton lost to the only defensive player to win it. And then the other guy, where I had to leave and go get my baby, he said, she's just ready for some Tennessee football. And that's true, for sure. I already got her outfits, her dress. I got it all ready for her. Without further ado, let's get into it, y'all. We got 29 days. Tomorrow make 28. So 4 Saturdays away. If you want to look at it that way, daggone, I'm fired up for y'all. Like I've said before, it's so close I can freaking taste it. I swear I can. Really, 21 days tomorrow before we get to watch a little football, week 0. So I'll have a Friday show for week 0 too to go over Iowa State, Kansas State. There's a couple other games on there, not too many. Not that good of a slate. That's when we really start incorporating some other stuff in here. Next week, by next weekend, I'll do my playoff selection show. I'm still going back and forth on a few teams. I saw something today. Oregon, if they didn't have such an easy schedule, I think they might struggle this year. I do think Dante Moore is a good quarterback that they've got. But they got 5 returning starters, y'all. I know they recruit good, all that. The 5 returning starters, that's absolutely crazy. But they got an easy schedule. I think their hardest game, Penn State, which is absolutely crazy. I'm still a little under the weather, y'all, so bear with me here. Mouth's dry, throat sore. First thing, Joey Halzle, the offensive coordinator, come out today and said the Vols are going to get back to being explosive this year. I honestly think a lot of what he said was kind of coach speak for saying we didn't have a guy that could process it last year. That's how I felt about it. Halzle says a wanted change is coming for Vols offense. What can we expect? There are a lot of moving pieces, of course, including the uncertainty at the quarterback position, is what that says. Let me get my next slide up for y'all. While we're pulling these up, I think a lot of this is him just saying last year, I don't think Nico could process things fast enough or on the tempo fast enough. And it kind of held the offense back. Because when they did dial up a play to get somebody open while teams were sitting back, Nico just overthrew it. What can everyone expect for Tennessee football offseason moving forward? There are a lot of moving pieces. Of course, including the uncertainty at the quarterback position. Will Joey Aguilar, Merklinger, or McIntyre win the starting job? It's going to be Aguilar, y'all. Merklinger, or Merk Slinger, as I like to call him, will be the backup, and McIntyre will hopefully get the red shirt, barring injury, Lord willing. We'll find out in the next few weeks. While that's up in the air, it looks like some changes with the game plan and schemes are on the way from offensive coordinator Joey Halzle. The days of draw plays on 3rd and long, it appears those are over. Via reporter Brent McKee, Halzle made it clear he's going to open the playbook and look to make Tennessee more explosive this fall. I think that's a not so subtle way of saying that Nico couldn't run his offense. And we're incorporating some pistol formations, which we haven't used yet. I mean, we don't go from having Hendon Hooker at quarterback and going as fast as you can possibly go. We're up on the ball, snapping as soon as the ref lets us. We're hitting deep balls. We're running the ball. We're doing this. And then Joe Milton, his year, the tempo slowed down a little bit. But last year, I mean, it just completely died, y'all. Yeah, we still ran the wide splits. We still done all that, but the tempo and the offense was dead last year at Nico. Like I said, I just don't know I don't think he could process it. I think that's why he wanted to go to a pro-style offense where it's a little slowed down. You don't have to make as many quick decisions like our offense. The receivers have routes, but they're option routes. According to what the defense is doing, when we hike the ball, a receiver could do a comeback route. They could run straight down the field, or they could do a slant. It's all according to what they see out there. And the offense is quarterback friendly, but you still got to be a quick decision maker. I'm not quite sure Nico was because, like I said, our tempo slowed down. The passing game was probably the worst it's been. Even Milton had the passing game better, I believe. I'm not saying Nico ain't talented, but you can have all the talent in the world, and that don't matter if you can't process the game. You got to have the brains and the talent. Talent only gets you so far. Vols OC Joey Halsley, that's been the entire focus of the offseason. When teams are playing really soft coverage, dropping 8, how do we still generate explosive plays? We've made some changes. And that has been a problem. That's why last year we pounded the rock. Hand it to Sampson, hand it to Sampson, hand it to whoever's in the backfield. Because teams are telling us, some games teams just line up and say, if you're going to beat us today, you're going to beat us running the ball. You're not going to score in a minute. We want to see if you can score, put together a 6-7 minute drive, and we done that last year. So I think this year, and they didn't respect the deep ball because Nico overthrew it every time. So I think this year, if Aguilar can hit the deep ball, we can get the tempo going like we did the first 2 years Hopper was here. This offense is going to be back up where it's supposed to be. I mean, we had a good offense last year. But if Nico could just hit some deep balls and the passing game was a little better, this team would have probably could have beat Georgia too, to be honest. Hell, we had a 17-3 lead on them, and then it all fell apart in the second half. Important changes are on the way to 25 offense. This is what we're talking about. If teams are, in fact, going to leave acres of space open on the field, then it's going to be time for Halsley to make sure he draws up the kind of plays that are going to make opposing defenses pay for that decision. Absolutely. Our offense last year was so vanilla, y'all. Ohio State said we knew what they was doing. Well, of course you did, because we couldn't draw anything up, because I really think it was because of Nico. I really do. I mean, I think if Nico was what he's hyped up to be coming out of high school, I think Josh Heupel might have gave in and gave him his money. But I think Heupel thought, I can either win with Merklinger or bring in a guy out of the portal. Because if you got a generational talent like Nico's hyped up to be coming out of high school, you do everything you can to keep him. I think Nico's going to end up getting drafted, but I don't think he's going to be no first-round pick. I think him, Jackson Arnold, there's another quarter, Dante Moore might have been in that class too, which he's going to start at Oregon this year, and they say they love him, that they're not going to miss a beat. We'll see. I definitely think Nico, at this point in time, Nico and Jackson Arnold out of that, the two of the 4 or 5 stars in that class, I think there's 4 or 5, have been complete bust. I mean, hate to say it, I stuck up for Nico last year all year. Then he does us like that. So look for some changes in the offense this year. I think we're going to see the tempo back up. We're putting in a pistol formation. I think we're going to run more slant routes. That's what I've not understood the whole time. If the freaking defenders, your cornerbacks are playing 10 yards off the ball, instead of running comeback routes, run slants because you got them beat. You go 4 or 5 yards downfield, slant, boom. They're playing that far off, get your tight end running up the seam, boom. I ain't no football expert, but I mean, I'm pretty good at CFB 26, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I'm not no expert. I do know some football. I played. I always keep up with it. So I think this year we're going to see a lot more than we've seen the last couple of years with Nico and Milton. Up next, I want to talk about a new recruiting target. It is Andrew Rogers, 6'6", 240 edge rusher. He goes to the same high school as Faison Brandon. The reason he's a new target, he was a 2027 recruit. He's reclassified. That's why he's a little lower rated right now. He's still a composite 4-star. But in the 27 class, he's already a little higher. When you reclassify, they got to kind of fit you in somewhere. But if he has a big year this year, I expect him to climb up definitely into the top 250. Definitely think we're the favorite in this one. He wants to come play with his teammate. So that would be another 4-star in the boat. Y'all, the month of July. Freaking Hypo has been on a freaking heater, y'all. I mean, July, it was like every other day we was landing recruit after recruit after recruit after recruit. Even just this week, we got 2 top 50 guys, Joe Hyatt and Celeste Moa. And Celeste Moa, we're going to talk about him because I did bring it up yesterday, but I found an article I want to go over with y'all about him. The kid could be special, y'all. The fact that he's from Utah, his dad played at Utah, and he still chose Tennessee is pretty dang cool. Tennessee made a huge recruiting splash on Thursday afternoon. 2026 5-star athlete Celeste Moa announced his commitment to the Vols, choosing the Vols over Utah, Michigan State, and Washington. 6'2", 190, rated a composite number 2 athlete in the nation, number 1 player in the state of Utah. Is also rated number 31 overall player. There's 32 5-stars, so he's right on that line, y'all. But that's the 2 guys we got this week, Joe Hyatt and him, are the number 2 and number 3 overall athletes in the country, y'all. And that's 2 huge gets. And it's been all July. I mean, all July, we just been on a freaking heater, y'all. If we can somehow get Savion Hyder, his commitment's August 18th, y'all, so we will be covering that. And then we're still trying to flip Tristan Keys. If we end up with 5 5-stars this year, y'all, Tennessee football is back. We're already back, but I'm saying if we land 5 5-stars in one recruiting class, it's back to the late 90s, y'all, early 2000s. Where the SEC is going to run through Tennessee, too. Landing Moa over Utah is particularly impressive for Tennessee. Moa isn't just from Utah. His dad played for the Utes. That's why we didn't even have no crystal balls for him. It was kind of a surprise. I mean, we knew he was in it, but nobody really knew what he was going to do. He says, I know I can play there. Once I got the opportunity from Tennessee, I kind of kept telling myself that I didn't want to pass up that opportunity. It was definitely hard, especially with the relationships I have at Utah. I love the coaches there. I know a lot of the players. My dad played there. It's hard not going there, but I'm excited for this next chapter. Tennessee's had their fair share of Samoan top guys. I don't know if they're all Samoan. I'll say like Jesse Mahalona. We just had Keenan Peely. I know there's a couple others I'm not thinking about. That's not popping in my head right away. So I love that. They're tough. I mean, Utah, they had a bad year last year, but Utah usually is right up there in the top 20 at least every year. And I mean, they're just a tough team because they always have all them Samoans and stuff on their team. So that's pretty cool. Moa can play wide receiver, defensive back. Though he's expected to start on the offensive side of the ball for the Vols. Brandon Huffman said he can play receiver and he can play safety at an elite level. Again, we're not saying he's going to be the next Travis Hunter, but if there's somebody in this class that could really do each side of the ball at an elite level, it is Celeste. We've seen him for the last couple of years shine on the 7-on-7 circuit on both sides of the ball. That's huge praise, y'all. I mean, that's huge praise. I hate Colorado and Deion Sanders, but even I can tell you that Travis Hunter was the best player in college football last year. Genty was close, but Travis Hunter was the lead on both sides of the ball, so that's huge praise for this guy. That tells you the kind of athlete we just got. He'll start out playing receiver at Tennessee. Josh Heupel did tell him there will be some defensive packages there, but to get a player of his positional versatility for the state like Utah, which has been cranking out some top talent in recent years, that's a big win for Josh Heupel, especially beating out some of the schools they did head-to-head. If Utah's pumping out some top talent every year, that gives you a pipeline there. You got a guy them guys know on your team. So that could be huge, just not for this year, but for future recruiting classes. And a lot of people don't think about stuff like that in recruiting. I mean, you get a guy from out there, Utah. Who would think a guy from Utah would want to come play in Knoxville? But now that you got one, and I bet Keenan Peely played for BYU, but I bet he probably talked to Keenan Peely. That's how that culture is. So I wanted to cover that, tell you how big of a freaking get that is. I know I went over it yesterday, but we didn't really go over how dynamic he was, all that stuff. So I wanted to cover that with y'all. I forgot to say, make sure y'all hit that like button, share, subscribe. We bumped up a subscriber. I appreciate that. Y'all make sure you're sharing with your buddies and your family and everybody. Make sure you're commenting. Tell me what you want to see on these videos. This show is for y'all. I want to give y'all what y'all want to see, so tell me in the comments. Make sure you're subscribing. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, it's free. All you got to do is hit the little bell and then click on when you hit the bell. It'll pop up my videos for you. You'll know when they are posted. Make it easier for you to watch them. Here within the next month or two, I'm going to try to update my equipment to y'all. I've got some stuff, but I think the laptop I bought just to get started doesn't quite handle things like that. It's a Chromebook. I didn't know. I'm kind of technologically illiterate. Next up, top 10 defensive coordinators in college football. This is from Andy Staples on On3. I like watching him and Ari Wasserman. They got their own show. You can watch it on YouTube. Tim Banks comes in at number 9. I personally would have Banks a little higher than that. What he's done with their defense since he's took over has really been nothing short of impressive, y'all. I'm sweating again, y'all. Sorry. Like I said, I'm still fighting this sickness. Phil Parker from Iowa. I wouldn't put him number 1. I mean, they got a good defense every year. I think it's partly because the teams they play, when they play teams like Ohio State, and teams that's got some real athletes, they struggle. I mean, Iowa, the year Tennessee played them, we think we scored like 38 on them when Butch Jones was here. Iowa's just kind of fun. They're fundamentally sound. I mean, he's good. He's a good coach, but I think that's a little high for him. Jim Knowles, Penn State. What's crazy about that is He was Ohio State's defensive coordinator last year, and Penn State took him. Guess they gave him so much money Ohio State didn't want to match. Number 4, Tom Allen, was Penn State's defensive coordinator last year, and he went to Clemson. So there's been some movement. Tim Banks had a couple opportunities this offseason to be a head coach. Now, I'll say Clemson talked to him, trying to get him to go. Pete Golding, Ole Miss, I think he's rated too high. Scott Simmons, SMU. SMU didn't have that good of a defense last year. They kind of scored points to win games. Indiana's defense coordinator. I think Texas defense coordinator should be hired. Georgia's always good. I don't mind Jim Knowles at number 2, maybe number 1. Womack from Alabama, the way they struggled last year, he has to prove it on the field this year with the talent he's got. And I just thought I'd pull this up for y'all and let y'all see Tim Banks was at least getting some respect. Like I said, I think he should be probably 5, maybe even 4. I mean, what he took over when he took this job, he was playing walk-ons that were brought in to be long snappers at linebacker, y'all. And within 4 years, this will be year 5, so within 4 years, he had a team that only gave up over 20 points two or three times the whole season. I don't care what anybody says. That's damn good. That's damn good. He's a good defense coordinator. The only problem I had with him last year, the only gripe I had, it seemed like at home, he'd bring more blitzes, and then when we went on the road, he'd just bring 4. And bringing 4 works if you're getting pressure with 4. But if you're not, you got to bring a 5th and 6th guy sometimes. Like at Georgia. We couldn't get pressure with 4. And he sat back, and what Carson Beck do? Mostly to their tight end. Shredded us. We was up 17-3, and then they scored 28 straight on us and beat us 31-17. All because Carson Beck was just sitting back in the pocket with all day. So I do hope Banks will dial up a few more blitzes on the road this year. That's my only gripe with him. If you're getting beat, bring him 4. Why not bring 5 or 6? If you get beat bringing 5 or 6, at least you're probably getting to the quarterback. If he beats you then, that's fine. But sometimes getting there and just getting pressure, you ain't got to get sacked. Sometimes just getting pressure forces quarterbacks into bad decisions. But I'd rather get beat bringing 5 or 6 than get beat bringing 4 and letting the quarterback stand back there like a daggone statue. It happened against Arkansas, too. Arkansas, when we didn't get pressure with 4, Taylor Green and their backup just stood back there or took off out of the pocket. Because they had 2 athletic quarterbacks. So I agree, Tim Banks top 10. I'd put him about 5, maybe 4. I'll say 5. This year, I think our defense can be as good, if not better. Yeah, we lost James Pierce. We returned all of our cornerbacks from a pass defense that was great last year. Safety's kind of a question mark. Not really a Turrentine side, but with Farouk and Caleb Beasley's side. But both of them guys were high-rated guys. So I think we'll be fine over there. Linebacker, I think we're more athletic at linebacker than we was last year. Now, before Peely got hurt, linebacker was phenomenal last year. Once Peely got hurt, teams started taking advantage of our linebackers in the pass game. But I think Edwin Spillman, Arion Carter, Jeremiah T. Lander, there's other guys too. We got 2 stud freshmen. One of them we flipped from Alabama, Jaden Perlotti. Was it Perlotti or Harmon? Harmon we got from Alabama. Perlotti we got from USC. But he flipped from Georgia to USC and then to us. But they're both 4-star, highly rated guys. Our defense, our team in general, has the most talent it's had since freaking, I think it was like 2006 or 2007. Our blue chip ratio is finally above 50. So, yeah, we lost Nico. We lost a couple guys from last year's team. But this is the most talented team Josh Heupel's had, y'all. That's why I'm not counting us out just because Nico left. A lot of folks are, but I'm not. I've seen Heupel do it with less talent than he's got now. So, until it happens this year, I'm saying we get to 10 wins again. And if our recruiting keeps going next year, our blue chip will probably be in the 60s. And if you don't know, there's a stat that you have to have at least 50% blue chip ratio to be a title contender. Nobody's won a national title with less than 50% blue chip. This is our first year since the mid-2000s with having a blue chip ratio over 50. And if the heater on the recruiting trail keeps continuing, it's just going to go up. And the way Heupel's one of the best X&O coaches in football, y'all. The way he's won 9, 11, 10 games with the talent he's had so far, he's one of the best X&O coaches in football. When he gets the talent, I think he's going to get his ship, y'all. I really do. Let me get a drink of water. My voice cracking a little bit. I got one more thing to go over. I didn't put it on the ticker down here, y'all. David Sanders has beefed up. They put him on that peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the middle of the night, y'all. I don't know if they still do it like that. I remember Tyler Bray, when he needed to add weight, he said they had him setting alarms to wake up 2 times in the middle of the night and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, yeah, I had to eat 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the middle of the night to put on weight because he's a little stick when he got here. He's like 6'6", 180 or something. Tennessee football tackle David Sanders Jr. has put on insane weight before freshman season. I'm pulling it up. I'll go ahead and tell you. He's put on almost 40 pounds, y'all. He came in extremely undersized with the need to put on significant weight. Sanders took up the challenge this summer. Now, as the team is a month away from starting the season, Sanders is just shy of 310 pounds. This is nearly 40 pounds increase from where he was when he got on campus. So he went from 270 to almost 310. That boy's been putting in work. He's talented. He's athletic. He's already got great technique. He just needs to strengthen the size, and he's got there. This change is already showing up on the practice field, too, in the spring. He was tasked with blocking 6th-year defensive lineman Dominic Bailey. Dominic Bailey's probably about 310. The result was Sanders not having the strength to deal with the push. In a rematch on Thursday, Sanders held his ground. We did one-on-ones with for the first time today. Sanders said, going against Don Bailey, I remember in the spring him pumping me and me just flying around. Today I'm actually sat down. Definitely more powerful in the run game, more powerful in the pass game. That's huge, y'all, because David Sanders will be starting right tackle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think he's going to do good. I think he's going to be a freshman All-American. He's the number 6 player in the entire country, number 1 offensive tackle. On the left side, we got Lance Hurd. He was the number 2 offensive tackle. This will be his redshirt sophomore year, I'm pretty sure. Came from LSU. Last year he was hurt. Never quite was right. He's got in shape. There's pictures online you can look at from last year, this year, where you could tell he's out of shape last year because of his injuries, and he didn't get in till fall because of his injuries. He didn't get to put in the work in the summer. He is this year. Guys, we lost 4 out of 5 offensive linemen from last year. But this year's offensive line is going to be better. I really, truly believe that. The only spot I think could maybe not be better is center, because Cooper May started there for 4 years. And he's loved by Ball Nation, but he wasn't even drafted, y'all. We love Coop. Center's got a lot of things to do. They got to tell linemen to look for blitzes. They got to do this, get everybody on the same page. snap the ball, pop up, block. Like I said, Cooper was a dog. But I think William Satterwhite, if he starts there, or Sam Pendleton, if he starts there, is more talented than Cooper was. Are they going to be able to align everybody, see the blitzes like Cooper? That's to be seen. But every other spot on the line is more talented this year than it was last year. Like I said, we got 2 5-star bookends on the tackles, which is huge in the pass game. Hopefully Joey Aguilar, or if it's Merklinger, I really think it's going to be Aguilar, going to have time in the pocket, y'all. At guard, we got Wendell Moy at left guard. He played Arizona last year. He is a top 5 pass block rating in the country by Pro Football Focus. So he can pass protect. His run block was pretty good too, but it wasn't as high as his pass block. So, and Sam Pendleton, in his limited time he played at Notre Dame, he is a dog too. I'm telling you, this offensive line is going to be better. This offense in general is going to be better. We got to rely on young receivers, but I think they're up to the task. And I think the defense can be even better. A lot of people think defense is going to take a step back because we lost James Pierce and Peely and a couple other guys. I don't. I think our corners and safeties going to make a no-fly zone. And our defensive line still deep. Yeah, we lost James Pierce, but we got Josh Joseph, Jordan Ross, who was a 5-star. We got, what's his name? His brother just transferred. Can't think right now. We got 5-star David Hawes, 5-star Isaiah Campbell, and they're in the 2 deep. They're not even starters, y'all. David Hobbs could end up starting. The defense is deep, and it's going to be nasty this year, y'all. If the offense can be explosive, instead of having close games like we did last year, I think we can beat some teams by a couple touchdowns. Think of the Alabama game last year. If Nico hits a couple of them deep balls, we win by 2 or 3 touchdowns instead of having to win at the end. Did he make the play to win? Sure. But if he had hit them deep balls last year, a lot of them close games we had, even the overtime game against Florida. Nico 17% on deep balls, y'all. If Aguilar can even just be 50 to 60%, this offense is taking off. We're going to wrap this one up here, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Help me build this channel up. Get in the comment section. Tell me what y'all want me to go over. Anything. This channel's for y'all. That's why I bring y'all football news. It ain't even got to be ball news. If you pull for somebody else, tell me down there. I'll cover that too. I appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Vols.